Knick-knack. I choose you.
I choose death.
Welcome back to another Off the Shelf. For the second time in a row, the book is not my pick. This is Knick-knack's submission. Pokemon, the original series.
Yeah, this is Adventures Red. Actually, I think this predates the first volume at least predates the anime.
It looks like it predates the anime.
Because like you can see in the book the moment where they realize, oh shit, Pikachu's the series mascot. We got to give him a Pikachu.
Exactly. Anyways, so we read the first 3 volumes because this is a 3-in-1.
Yeah. So we just read the entire first arc.
Hefty.
Yeah.
And can I say, Pikachu is just so adorably chonky. like that meme, Pikachu losing weight since 1980 has never felt more real.
Can you tell this was written in the 90s when the series first came out?
I mean, they're all chonky.
There's some imagery here that hasn't been around for the Pokemon since the original Red and Blue games.
No, some of these are absolutely wild. Like looking at the differences between what they look like in here and then what I know that they look like based on my experiences. For
example, Mew has a much chunkier head here than in the anime.
Yeah.
Or Charmeleon has these back spine things. Things you get from the pixel art of the games, but not the official art that was released later.
Mm-hmm. And Bulbasaur's a lot chunkier, too. Bulbasaur's like a big boy. So is
Snorlax.
I love Snorlax. I don't know what Snorlax is, but I love Snorlax.
Some kind of bear.
Yeah, it's huggable. That's all that matters.
It's kind of funny because this manga, at least for the first part, is probably more accurate to the games than the anime is.
You mean like the part where he equips
items?
It looks like a little fucking just like a gladiator armor and winged helmet piece and shit. It's like when you equip items on Kirby. That's what it looks like. Bulbasaur's head is way bigger than he normally is, and he's so chonky. Look at that Snorlax. I gotta admit, I actually like the art in this a lot more than I do in the anime. And I understand the conversion to anime. You lose some detail, things change, they become more standardized. And I get that this is very early, right? And then it went through a lot of revisions. I mean, Pikachu doesn't even have a head in this version. He just has a face on one end of his body, to be quite frank. He doesn't have a defined head.
Well, he doesn't have a neck.
Yeah, that's it. He doesn't have a neck.
The body just kind of goes into the head.
Yeah, which is not a problem, but it's adorable. And I really like that a lot more. Also, I think this is my preferred way of consuming Pokemon. I gotta say, this is possibly my favorite way to consume Pokemon so far that I've experienced.
So you like this much more than the anime?
Much more than the anime. And it's more fun than the game, I think. I think my problem with the game is there's just a lot of tedious grinding and running around that I'd just rather not do because I'm a lazy bitch. Also, I'm still sore about the time that I got stuck in the village for 2 months.
We don't talk about that.
I don't know. I think it's a great example.
Okay, guys, you know that part in every person who had Pokemon in their childhood story where they say they got the games and they thought that the game ended at Professor Oak giving you the Pokedex because you didn't know how. Because they thought getting out of the town and getting out there was the achievement. Seki didn't even get to that part.
No, I didn't meet the doctor.
She thought you needed to wait real in-game time for Professor Oak to come back. Now, if this was baby Seki, that'd be one thing. This is adult Seki, or at least 16-year-old Seki at the latest.
I know.
Or earliest.
I was out of high school.
So adult Seki.
Yeah, I was in college. I spent 2 months logging in at random times and waiting in game. And this was on a Game Boy. This was not on a DS or a Switch. This is on like an old Game Boy. Because it said if you want to see Professor Oak, go to Professor Oak's house. And I went to Professor Oak's house and they were like, oh, Professor Oak isn't here. So I thought maybe if I logged in at like a specific time or day or some shit, he'd be there. And I thought that I didn't realize what I was doing was dumb, so I didn't say anything to anyone for 2 months. And then I was told that I had to run into the long grass.
You see, Seki, like, we're here playing Pokemon. Seki was playing Animal Crossing where everything's in real time.
Yes! Actually, that might be why I thought there was, like, an actual, like, real-world time attached to it. Because I know that, like, Animal Crossing had that from, like, a very early point in, like, the Animal Crossing series. Because there were a couple documentaries out on it during, like, back when I started college. And I watched them. Not because I didn't play Animal Crossing, but I like watching YouTube documentaries about, like, weird shit or just, like, common shit that I missed growing up. And I know that some of the really early Animal Crossings did have that mechanic. So I thought surely a more recent game would have that mechanic, too, if,
Pokemon that game was much older than, like... If you played the remakes, that was around the same age as Animal Crossing's first game in the West. And if you played the originals, that was much older than Animal Crossing.
Well, I didn't know that. So, I was stupid.
Yeah, you were stupid. I'm not going to defend you here. I'm not going to... Oh, no, it wasn't that bad. No, you were an adult.
No, I was a grown-ass adult. I could have Googled that shit. I could have done so. I could have asked. I could have Googled. I could have done something. No. I did nothing. I just thought I was the stupid one, which I was, just not in the way that I thought.
So the fun thing about these manga are that now that the arc is finished, Red is just no longer the main character. It's not the anime where Ash stays the main character for until recently. 2 decades, 2.5 decades.
Look, I gotta admit, that's maybe the best selling point of this manga.
It's kind of like JoJo, where it's kind of in parts. So, like, every part follows a new character.
So
sometimes you go back to old
character?
characters for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Next arc is the Yellow arc.
I liked Red as a character, too. I thought he was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A little less moronic than Ash.
He's still a moron in a himbo kind of way.
Yeah, but part of why I don't like Ash is because I'm just not the age to enjoy him.
Yeah.
By the time I watched it, and Red is less stupid enough that I'm capable of enjoying the jokes when they come, you know? As opposed to Ash, who's just kid dumb.
This series, they definitely aged Pokemon up more than the original, or the anime does. Like, there's a part where an Arbok just fucking dies.
Yeah, which I understand wanting to, like, create a series that isn't gonna, like, psychologically harm little kids, but at the same time, we don't need to shelter them to the point where like Ash is just like actively doing dangerous stuff but never getting in trouble or dying and being super annoying.
What are you talking about? Ash dies like 3 times in the original anime, just get brought back to life through the tears of Pokemon.
Fucking reanimated by Pikachu. Clear! That's literally what Pikachu does.
That would be more realistic. No, they just cry and the tears bring him back to life.
It's because he's it's because Pikachu's a phoenix. Did you not know that?
Apparently. J.K. Rowling getting her inspiration from Pokemon, apparently.
I mean, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised.
Actually, I don't know what came... What year was Chamber of Secrets
Pokemon's
released?
older.
Okay.
Pokemon's older. Like, for sure. Also, I think my favorite moment in this entire manga is catching a Pikachu with a net and an apple. And maybe it's just because I remember Ash struggling so hard with Pikachu in the first season of the OG anime, but, like, it is absolutely hilarious watching someone just, like, butterfly net the fucking Pikachu. 10 out of 10. Gloriousness. I also like the battles at the end. I mean, they get to be really interesting. I think they could have, like, copped out and not done the battles as fun at the very end. But I think there was, like, a good amount of build-up, and I enjoyed seeing the actual fighting at the end. It felt climactic. And it was nice seeing Ninetales, because I'm a fan of Ninetales.
Ninetales is great.
Yeah, Ninetales is awesome. And look, Venusaur! I love Venusaur. I think Venusaur might be one of my favorite evolutions of, like, the originals.
So, I guess just while I'm on camera here to warn you about this, if you ever look up these characters for whatever reason, be fucking careful.
Why?
Red is universally the same character across all releases of this. Blue and green have their names switched in the Japanese version. Or in this had their name switched for the English version.
Okay. So blue is called green and green is called blue?
Yep.
Why?
Because in the West, our first Pokemon games were Pokemon Red and Blue. In Japan, their first
green?
Red and Green.
That's so weird. I don't understand that.
There's a long history. Go look up some video game documentary and it'll explain it to you.
Oh, was that Ruby and Emerald?
No, this is Red and Blue, the game, the original Red and Blue games.
Oh, okay, the original, not.
Yeah.
Not the ones you play with an emulator on a calculator at school.
No, those ones. I think you can play those ones, and I think they go all the way up to Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald.
Oh, okay. Impressive. I have to say, I have a lot of... Despite not being a Pokemon child or a particular Pokemon fan, I have a lot of respect for it as a franchise. Because I think that it...
I don't.
Well, I think that it's managed to stay a relevant kids show for so long. And a game franchise and a manga series, like, for so long. Like, there are Pokemon manga, there's Pokemon anime, there's Pokemon movies, and there's Pokemon games. And kids knew them when we were kids. Kids older than us knew them, and kids younger than us know them.
What's interesting is that a lot of this has remained the same, too. Like, Pokemon hasn't changed developers. The anime is still, well, up till recently, like, till later this year, is the same main character, the same story. This manga still continues to this day doing each of the games.
Yeah, and it's, that's something, like, I can talk to someone who's, like, 10 years younger than me about Pokemon, and... not much has changed. I can ask people younger or older than me, what's your favorite Pokemon, and have a discussion and stuff like that. And I think that's really an impressive grasp upon
the culture and the fact that
children in general. Like, because it is very hard to market to and capture the kind of kid audience on a long-term scale. Like, it's very easy to get, like, little, one season here, a movie there, a show there. Kids have a short attention span a lot of the time. It kind of comes in and out of the public consciousness, but...
Pokemon feels like it's done irrevocable damage to the to children's culture worldwide.
Yeah, like Pokemon is the thing. Also, it's just spawned, like... Well, one of the things I like is it spawned like an entire genre of teenage, like teenage demographic monster battlers.
T.H.E digital monsters.
Monsuno. Or Huntic Secrets and Seekers. Like, it has spawned an entire, like, separate genre of monster battlers made for a more teenaged audience. To try to capture the kids that liked Pokemon, but want something slightly more adult. With, like, a little bit more brutal themes or adult theming. And I watched Monsuno when it was coming out, and Monsuno was one of those, like, short hit things. Like, it was really popular for, like, 2 months and then faded away. Or I watched Huntic. That's another thing. Not super popular, but it had, like, 2 seasons, whatever, stuff like that. I know there's, like, at least 10 or 15 others I just can't remember the name of.
My childhood one that wasn't Pokemon, although I was a Pokemon child. My childhood, like, Pokemon alternative was Bakugan.
Mine was Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! Might actually predate Pokemon, at least the concept of it. I don't know if it took off
Yu-Gi-Oh's
after
pretty
Pokemon,
old.
But...
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's pretty old. And I do like Yu-Gi-Oh! And, Yu-Gi-Oh!, unlike Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has more mature themes.
But Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of does what this manga does, where every new series has a new character, and there is some continuity, but not really.
Yeah, and there, like I said, Yu-Gi-Oh! Also starts with darker themes. Even in the original series, it's more of a preteen to teen show than it is a children's show, which is fine.
I mean, that's kind of what this manga is doing tries to do to Pokemon. It tries to take it and give it to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Demographic, basically.
Yeah. And I got a lot of respect for what it's doing, and I got a lot of respect for Pokemon overall. I'm not a Pokemon child. I'm not a Pokemon adult. I mean, I like certain Pokemons. I think they're cute, I've got a Mimikyu hoodie. cloak thing. I should have worn the fucking Mimikyu.
You should have.
I should have worn the fucking Mimikyu. Next time, we'll read another one of these and I'll wear the Mimikyu. There wasn't even a Mimikyu in here. It's fine. I'll wait till there's a Mimikyu.
Oh, that's going to be a long while. You don't understand. I'm talking like...
It's a hot minute.
18 years long while since the original release of Red and Blue till Mimikyu's introduced.
Yeah, but despite all that, like, I grew up knowing about Pokemon. And because of that, even though it's not my show or my manga or my game, I have a lot of respect for it. And it is one of those few franchises that even though it's not, like, super my style or my speed, I'm interested in experiencing more of in some form or another. I don't particularly enjoy the anime. I think it's just a little...
The anime is a fucking meme. Let's be real here. When we watch, we're just watching it to recite the James, Jesse, Meow rant, and we're just watching it to see the tropes play out in short bursts.
Or harden.
Harden, Metapod, harden! Literal dick measuring contest in the anime.
Yeah, but in terms of the manga and the games, it's definitely something I'm more interested in. Hey, maybe sometime soon, I knew you did a live stream recently, maybe we can do a Pokemon live stream.
Maybe. I can definitely set up an emulator on a computer and get us a Pokemon live stream going.
Yeah, maybe we can watch me get lost in the village and not go into the tall grass for 2 months. I'm going to hell for that. I'm going to be strangled after this recording ends. So is there anything else you wanted to tackle?
I mean, since we're apparently a Fate channel, I should mention Fate has a Pokemon ripoff as well. I'm kidding.
Jesus fucking
It doesn't
Christ.
have an active one. It's just a one-off gag game.
The fact that there's even a gag game hurts my soul.
You have to collect all of the sabers.
Oh, that hurts my soul even more.
The super rarest saber is called Galactica Saber.
I think that's a good place to end this.
Bye, everyone.
So bye. Like, comment, subscribe to bleach my brain from that knowledge.